The all-time classic stock investment business game has returned, Shark. Categorize the stocks and money by type and organize them into the card tray as shown here. Assign a player as the banker. The banker is the starting player. Place the game board in the center and the stock index next to it. Place the stock markers in the corresponding company icon space on the stock index. Gather and sort the company buildings by color. Exclude the gray and black special buildings. These special buildings will be explained in more details later. Place the dice where everyone can easily access. The clockwise direction starting from the banker, all players will select and take one stock of any company. Players can choose stocks of the same company as each other. Setup is complete. On your turn, you can trade stocks and roll both company die and area die to place buildings on the game board, which is known as expansion. You can also trade stocks before your turn ends. To summarize, you can trade stocks at the start of your turn, and you can trade stock again after setting up a building before your turn ends. Although stock trading is optional during your turn, expansion is a required action that must always be performed on your turn. You can start your turn by trading stocks. Stocks are bought at the current stock price. Likewise, stocks can be sold at the current stock price. You can sell as many stocks as you want on your turn, but you can only buy up to 5 stocks maximum during a single turn. For example, you can buy 2 stocks at the start of your turn and buy 3 more at the end of your turn. This is one way you could purchase 5 stocks before your turn ends. Note that red stocks cannot be bought yet due to its stock price being below $1,000. Blue stocks, however, can be purchased for $1,000 each. To keep track of the maximum number of stocks you can buy on a single turn, keep the stocks purchased separate from the stocks you already own and combine them together at the end of your turn. Roll both company die and area die, then place a company building indicated by the company die on an area indicated by the area die. If a gray or black building is rolled, place any building color of your choice. Let's take a look at the stock index. Stock price is 0 when there are no buildings on the game board. Stock price is $1,000 when there is one building on the game board. Thus, the blue stock is currently worth $1,000. Creating a chain of buildings of the same color will further raise the stock price. Stock price is equal to total number of buildings in the chain times $1,000. Thus, the yellow stock price is at $3,000 and the green stock price is also at $3,000. If the company die and area die roll a blue building and area 1 respectively, then place a blue building on the space of your choosing on area 1. If the area die rolls a shark, then place a building on one of the shark area on the game board. Blue building is placed here. Placing a blue building here has created a chain, raising the blue stock price to $2,000. Stock prices for that color rises the moment a building is added to a chain, and players will be eligible to receive bonuses. In this case, the stock price rose by $2,000, therefore a bonus of $2,000 will be received. Players who own this stock will receive dividends for this rise in stock price. In this case, the stock price rose by $1,000 and we have 3 blue stocks, so we will receive $3,000 in total in dividends. This player will receive $1,000 for 1 stock. This player will receive $2,000 for 2 stocks. Place the building like so. Placing a lone building that is not part of a chain will provide you with a bonus without any impact on stock prices. You also have the option to either sell or buy stocks at the end of your turn. We'll buy 1 yellow stock. 3 stocks in total have been bought this round. You can buy multiple stocks at different times, as long as you do not exceed purchasing the maximum of 5 stocks per turn. At the end of your turn, combine your newly purchased stocks with your originally owned stocks. Your turn is now complete. The dice rolled a yellow building in the shark area. By default, buildings cannot be placed adjacent to other colored buildings, but you can place buildings adjacent to other buildings that are part of a smaller chain. This is known as a hostile takeover. When a hostile takeover occurs, first increase the corresponding stock price and receive a bonus according to the general chain rules. In this case, the bonus will be $4,000. The stock rose by $1,000, so players with yellow stocks will receive dividends of this amount per stock. All buildings affected by the hostile takeover on the game board are removed from the game. At this point, the stock prices of that building color can fall. Recall that once a stock reaches a price of $1,000, the preceding stock prices are determined by the number of buildings in the chain. Therefore, the green stock isn't affected, while the red stock's price will drop by $2,000. At this time, players who own red stocks will have to pay losses. In this case, a loss of $2,000 must be paid. If you have no money to pay for your losses, then you will be forced to sell off some of your stocks to make money pay for the losses. However, you will only be able to sell your stocks at half its value. If the stock price is valued at $3,000, then this means your stock will be valued at $1,500 when forced to sell. However, there are no $500 bills found in Shark. Therefore, you will only be able to sell your stock for $1,000 per stock. If you are still unable to fully pay for your losses, then you will have to declare bankruptcy and be eliminated from the game. The game ends when one of three endgame conditions occur. When all of a company's buildings have been used up, when a value of a stock reaches $15,000, when all of a company's stocks have been purchased. At the end of the game, calculate the total value of your stocks at its current value, add your money to your stock value, and compare with other players. Player who has accumulated the most wealth from stocks and money wins. Joker buildings can act as any colored building of your choice. When a company die rolls a gray or black building, you can place any building on the game board. Note, however, that black buildings can only be placed as a lone building. The player who places a black building immediately receives a bonus equal to the highest valued company's stock price from the bank. When a black building becomes connected to a chain, the black building will be considered a company building of that chain. In this case, the black building is now part of this chain of blue buildings. Conversely, this black building could instead have become a part of a chain of red buildings. You can place gray buildings whenever you roll a black or gray building on the company die. The gray buildings can be placed as lone buildings or placed adjacent to any buildings. Gray buildings cannot be linked in a chain. There are no bonuses for placing gray buildings on the game board. You can prevent hostile takeovers by placing gray buildings like so. Both black and gray buildings can be used in a single game. When a gray building is rolled, you can choose to place a single gray or other color building. When a black building is rolled, you can choose to place a single black building or other color building. Placing the first building of one company in an area that doesn't have the company building allows you to repeat the required action. Pioneering allows players to place 2 buildings per turn maximum. You are not allowed to continuously roll one die after another. That's it for Shark.